Hey guys, what's up? We will be reacting to this Mr. Nightmare Stalker horror stories, all amusement park horror stories. Here, let me back up my chair. Okay, there's no room to back it up, but should I just sit on the top bunk or some crap? I mean, then you guys won't really have... Wait, is it zoomed in? How good is it like this? Not good at all. Screw it, I'm sitting on my bed. Okay guys, let me turn my TV up. 17. Okay. Clickety clack, we're back. This is freaky. This is like one of the only ones I've never seen. Damn it. Hold on. And then guys, I'm gonna keep it paused for a second. Okay.
Two of my closest friends, Trevor and Kevin, always loved to go on late-night adventures. I have so many fond memories going on creepy midnight exploration sessions with them, but I have some not-so-great ones as well. However, the worst experience was the night we went to Joyland Amusement Park in Kansas, an abandoned park surrounded by a somewhat typical suburban area. We lived only 10 minutes away from the park, so we figured it would be our next late-night destination. We always brought our Phoenix flashlights, backpacks, and boots whenever we went to places like this.
Well, if
Today,
you got run
mostly
out,
everything in Joyland
don't wear
Amusement Park has
boots.
been torn down. But this was back in like 2011 or 2012.
Oh,
and at that
that's
time,
happened?
most of the buildings and rides were still standing.
Oh,
We pulled up on a
sense.
side road next to the parking lot since it seemed a lot less sketchy than pulling up into the parking lot itself. Then we figured we should just pull up onto the grass next to the woods by the park, because God forbid if a cop would drive down the road. Kevin led the way, while Trevor and I followed behind, talking to each other, sometimes joking about how much more eager Kevin was to move ahead than we were. We kept our voices low, however, because we never knew if there might still be security in places like this. All the carnival shacks that
I'd
once held
rather get
concessions
caught
and
by
games had now
security
been
than be
ransacked,
chased out
trashed
by
with
some
cans and
crazy
bottles, and
woman or
sprayed with
drug
graffiti.
dealer.
It was basically the scene that you would expect to see in an amusement park that had been abandoned for years.
Okay.
Even though the park was surrounded by suburbs, it was kind of encased in by woods in almost all directions. So instead of late-night traffic, all we heard were crickets and other night creatures. It added to the experience because, to be honest, all three of us in a certain way liked being freaked out. We walked into another carnival game stand. This one with the paintings at top still not completely worn away or graffitied over. It had some smiling cartoon character holding a dart gun, so I'm guessing it was some kind of target hitting game.
That's freaky.
Now it was just rubble and litter on the ground. Suddenly there was the sound of a glass bottle breaking not too far away. When we turned in that direction, it became clear it definitely came from the bigger looking building. Perplexed and kind of shaken, the three of us went in that direction. We stopped probably 2/3 of the way there, when we saw someone standing in the corner of what was once called the Wacky Shack attraction.
Okay.
The person was legitimately just standing facing the corner wall of the entrance. I whispered at my friends to back away slowly. There was clearly something wrong with this person, and we didn't want them to hear us. We backed away.
See, that's what I was saying. I'd rather get caught and chased out by security than chased out by some crazy old mental woman who escaped a mental asylum. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Trying to avoid making any noise.
Yeah, you wanna...
It was almost like something out of a cliche horror movie when either Kevin or Trevor stepped on a beer can, which made a really loud crunch. The person standing in the corner turned their
I
head and
never
looked at
really
us.
knew what cliche
But the speed
means.
in which they turned their head was what really scared me. It was
Like
almost
a
like
deer.
You
Jinx.
could now see it was a man. He had a deranged look on his face.
Oh, damn.
The three of us simply walked quickly away. We didn't run because
Walk
that would only be more
quickly?
cause for this person to chase us.
Oh, yeah,
We
you
made
are
it to the
wearing
woods
boots,
where
so
we
if
would
you
cut
trip,
through
then
to
you'd
get
be
to the car.
fucked.
Halfway there, Kevin looks back and mutters, "Oh shit." We look back and see the guy just standing stiff next to a tree in the distance, a few meters away.
Okay.
Running seemed like our only sensible option at this point.
Yeah, just do it. Just fuck
It didn't
it.
take long before we were at the car. We screamed at Kevin to unlock it as he fumbled for his keys. As we got
Just
into the car
fumble
and looked out
for
the
it
windows,
while you're
we
running,
could all see him
unlock it,
again.
and then when
This
you
time
get
once
there,
again standing stiff like
you
a
can just
statue,
get it.
hunched over by the tree line to the woods. Kevin drove off, and Trevor and I screamed out taunts to the man.
Seems like
didn't
this
mean we
guy
weren't still absolutely
only
shaken
has
permanently.
attention to stalk them.
It's scary to think that none of us ever actually saw that weird man move. He seemed to always be standing still whenever we saw him.
No, you saw him move his head, you said. Didn't he? He said he saw him move his head when he stepped on a beer can. Or Kevin. I think it was Kevin.
I was taking my family on a road trip to South Florida.
Oh.
It was a long 2-day drive, and I could tell my kids were getting restless. I saw a sign for an amusement park zoom by on the parkway, so I figured I'd treat my kids and take them to an amusement park for a couple hours.
Good father.
It was late already anyway, so we were just going to stop at the hotel soon.
Or
I
is
figured
this
I
a
might
mom?
as well. My wife and I followed our two kids, Tommy, 7, and Trish, 5. They ran ahead of us to find a ride they wanted to go on. I had to admit, this was one pathetic-looking amusement park. There weren't many other people there. There weren't many attractions either. More than half of what appeared to once be attractions and games were now just empty stands and buildings.
There's gonna be a clown,
As
isn't
long as
there?
the kids were happy, though, that's all that really mattered. Tommy was running so far ahead, pointing at one of the rides ahead in the dark.
He's gonna get
I
lost.
thought for sure he was pointing to the Ferris wheel, but when he made an unexpected turn left and out of sight, my wife and I screamed for him to come back here immediately.
Oh no, so it
When
is
he
the
didn't come
father.
back, I told my wife to wait there with Trish
He's got
while I ran
penis,
as
not
fast as I
vagina.
could to chase after Tommy. I couldn't
And he
find
can't
him
have a
anywhere,
baby,
though.
so... Can a gay couple
My
make
heart
a
began
baby?
to
I don't
race.
know.
The feeling of losing your small child is a painfully scary feeling that will literally make you feel sick inside.
I bet.
I stood in place looking around in a full 360 motion, breathing heavily, afraid someone might have
360
taken
no
my son.
scope. Oh, come on.
I ran to the nearest worker I could find and gave them my son's description.
Sorry.
They called on a loudspeaker for Tommy to come to the front entrance. In the meantime, I still ran all over the place searching for him. I stopped
He
dead
got
in my
kidnapped,
tracks, and I
didn't
felt my
he?
heart drop when I found him. He was over by a wall of bushes next to a bathroom building. He was talking to someone who was apparently in the bushes.
He
Then
was
it looked like he
lured
was
there.
pulled into the bushes. I screamed Tommy's name
What
as I
did
took
I
a break
say?
through the bushes.
He was gonna
There was
get
nobody
kidnapped.
around to serve as a witness or come and help me. I got to the bushes and heard Tommy talking to someone. I didn't hear the other person's voice, though. I pushed my way
Is it
through
a
the bushes
clown?
and saw Tommy being pulled. I didn't see by who,
That's
though.
what she said.
I ran to him and pulled him, but I felt something
No,
else on the other side of another
tug.
layer of bushes pulling him in that direction.
Okay, no,
But
no.
quickly, whatever it
No,
was
let's
let
make my
go,
channel
and I pulled
PG.
Tommy into my arms. I told him to wait there as I pushed my way through more bushes to a small opening surrounded by trees. There was no one in sight. I had no idea how whoever it was could have gotten away that quickly. I still don't. When I got back to my son, I took him back in public eye at the park and put my hands on his shoulders, shaking him as I was asking him who he was walking with. He said he was following some guy named George. He
What?
said George was a lot older than him.
Yeah,
I took him back to the
obviously.
front entrance of the amusement park and had him describe George to the workers. They said they'd keep a sharp lookout for him, and we promptly left the park. We went straight to a hotel, and the rest of our trip from there was normal, except for the fact that
That literally looks like the hotel by my grandma's house. Like, that's the entrance. You just go straight into the entrance, and then right there is the real entrance where you walk in, right there at the corner, or right there at the corner at the side of it where I'm pointing, right there, right at the black legit where I'm pointing. You just go straight and you pass it. Like, it looks just like the one from my grandma's house, or that's by my grandma's house.
Couldn't get the incident out of my head.
Yeah, obviously. Just imagine middle of the night, knock on the window. Oh, shit.
I used to work at a little theme park called Thrillville, USA. No, not the video game. There was an actual amusement park called Thrillville. It was very tiny and secluded, though, so don't picture a big place like Six Flags or something in your head. I never enjoyed working there because my shift would always be something different every day, and there was an insane amount of weirdos there. But that's irrelevant. The park closed in 2007, and ever since, I've been from job to job in this shitty country-ass town.
Are you calling America shitty? Get the fuck out of this country,
it would be fun to go check out what's become of Thrillville, since it had been shut down and abandoned for 2 years at the time.
Oh, this would be 2009. Yeah, so this closed down before I was born.
The overgrown grass waved around in the breeze, suggesting an incoming storm.
Because I'm 11.
Sneaking
I was
in
born
easy, considering it wasn't fenced off
2008.
but it was clear some
Why did I
things had
just
already
say
been
my
torn down.
date of birth?
Still, at the
I'm
time,
stupid.
mostly everything was still standing, but it had become so much creepier now.
I'm still
I
uploading
began
this.
to
I
feel
don't give a
tiny rain
shit.
droplets, but I didn't really
By
care.
the
I
way,
was
fuck
dressed
you.
for
Get
rain
out of this
anyway.
country if you hate it. Fuck you,
Walking
nigga.
around the park was creepy, but the first really disturbing thing didn't actually happen until I heard something stutter behind me.
Oh,
To be honest, I couldn't tell if it was a person or an animal, but something was definitely there. I didn't see anything though, so I just pressed onward, choosing to ignore it. I was snapping constant pictures with my Canon camera that I took along because for a few months I was kind of into photography. You know, a passing interest.
yeah.
I snapped away at
Passing
different buildings,
interest.
the defunct roller coaster,
You know.
the big old yellow slide that was now covered in mud stains. Then there were the buildings like the bathrooms, the main office, the varying maintenance
Walk into the
shacks.
ladies'
I
bathroom.
decided I would start with the
Oopsie.
bathrooms. I don't know why I thought that would be interesting, but I did. I stepped into the men's side of the bathrooms, which was obviously pitch black inside. The lights no
Obviously,
longer
it's
worked,
not like the
so I had
lighting
to
is
turn on
gonna
the
work.
flash on my camera, kind of like that scene from the first Saw movie. I took a picture of the sink and mirror and checked the image quality. The light flash on my camera was very bright, so pictures in the dark always
How long
came out
ago
clear.
was this made?
Then I heard the
1 year
slightest
ago.
little ting sound. It came from the side of the bathroom with the stalls. I called out, "Is someone in here?" There were 2 stalls from what I remember. I went over to the first stall and pushed the stall door open slowly.
Oh
I
no.
aimed my camera into the stall and took the picture. The light revealed nothing but a toilet in the stall. I moved on to the next stall and pushed
And
the
a
door
lady
open.
sitting on it.
With this one, I was having trouble drawing up the nerve to take the picture. I took about 5 seconds before I pressed the button, and the camera light flashed. And in that brief moment of light,
I'm out.
I saw a tall figure looming down at me. I shut the stall door and screamed as I ran back outside to...
Yo, man, no one's gonna hear you. No one is gonna hear you. No one's gonna hear you. Just don't scream. Get the hell out of there.
When I got to my car, I checked the picture I captured in that stall. In the picture was a figure, probably 6'3",
Oh,
standing in front of the
that's
toilet.
tall.
But for some reason, the face was blurry. I couldn't see any distinguishing features.
Just
Seemed to be a
imagine
man.
in the picture,
As I
you
browsed
see
through some of the other
he's
photos,
wearing a
I picked
vendetta
up on
mask.
something disturbing. In 4 photos out of 10, I found what appeared to be a person hiding somewhere in the distance, but always seemed to be staring at me.
And you didn't see
In
that
2 pictures,
before.
the person was in the woods. In 2 others, they were behind buildings or rides. I never sent those pictures from my camera onto my computer, but I think they're still on the camera. I just haven't seen it in years. Might be in my attic. If I find it, I'll post them online. But I quite frankly never want to see that picture again.
Obviously. Yo, boy. Bye.